All right, welcome to part two of workspace stress and anxiety, its problem and its solutions. So in this part, we will discuss three problems that we face in our day-to-day work life. We will discuss their solutions. And at the end, we will discuss 5 tips that you can immediately apply in your day-to-day work routine and reduce the level of stress. So stay tuned till the end.
Hi, my name is Akshay Tiwari. I am a holistic happiness coach and I welcome you all to Holistic Happiness Club, place where we discuss everything about happiness, everything that's related to happiness, everyday's challenges, everyday's nuances, and everything that can contribute to our level of happiness and everything that can reduce our level of happiness. Every problems and solutions, everything that is related to happiness, we discuss in this space. And before we go ahead and delve deep into today's topic, uh, I want to have a quick recap of what we discussed in the last episode. And if you have not checked our last episode yet, I highly recommend that before you go ahead on this episode, you go back and check our last episode, because once you will check that one out, all these things that we will discuss in today's episode, these things will make even more sense. All right. So let's go ahead and discuss and have a quick recap what we discussed in the last episode. We discussed that why I want to address this problem as the first problem. And here I have shared few steps and my personal experience about why I want to address this problem as the first problem. And then we have discussed that what is the importance of solving this problem as in workspace stress and anxiety. So what we will gain if we will solve this problem. And there were few benefits like personal well-being, productivity and performance, collaboration and teamwork, work satisfaction and retention, organizational reputation. And that then we discussed about understanding what stress really is. And one of the key note which came out of all this discussion is that stress in itself is not all that bad. This is one thing very important to remember, that stress in itself, it's not all that bad. And little bit of stress we all need in our daily life. The problem is that prolonged exposure to stress. If we are exposed to stress for a very long period of time, then it is the time that we should manage it. And we discussed that there are causes, five fundamental things that can cause stress. So, what are those five fundamental things? Constant fear or uncertainty about future, and constantly regretting about something which has happened in the past, attitudes and perception, how we see a problem, then unrealistic expectation and change. So all these five fundamental problems are there which can cause stress. Okay. And as we discussed that stress in itself is not all that bad. What we need to look out is prolonged exposure of stress. So how do we get to know that now we are it is a long time that it's a high time that we should manage our stress. So there are few signs and symptoms which we need to look out for, and there are five categories of signs and symptoms which we discussed in the last episode. These are physical symptoms, these are behavioral symptoms, these are interpersonal mental symptoms, and changes in physical and mental health also. So if we experience all any of these things without any apparent reason which we can figure it out, uh, then I think we should be aware that maybe it is a stress, work related stress or any kind of other stress. But our discussion in this context is related to work related stress. So, so this then it is time, means if we have these all any of these symptoms which we discussed in the last episode, then it is the time that we should uh, try some help, take some help, and try to manage the stress which is going on in our daily life. All right, so this is what we had discussed in the last episode. Now we will start our journey for today's episode. We'll discuss three problems, their solutions, and 5 tips at the end that you can apply in your daily life, daily work routine, and immediately reduce the level of stress. All right, now let's talk about the problems and solution. So the first problem is excessive workload. And indeed, it's a very massive problem if you go out in any industry, at least in my experience, to the people to whom I have talked. This seems to be the number one cause of the stress. People in different industries feel that there's so much to do in such a short span of time. They have very tight deadlines to finish all the tasks, and because of that, they feel stressed out. Okay, I want to address this problem in two parts. Part one is from employees' perspective. So many times, from employees' perspective, this problem gets artificially created. So, for example, I would say that maybe an employer has given one task to an employee, and the employer has given 2 weeks of time to finish that task. And let's assume that the 2 weeks is a quite good time to finish that task. What sometime employee does is he thinks that, okay, it's a very small task, such a small ask. Maybe I will start early in the next week and I will finish it by the end of the next week. So this week, let me check. So this habit of procrastination creates the illusion that he has so much to achieve, and he enters into the next week and he figures out that, okay, there are so many nuances which he did not think of in the first place. Now he has to complete so much in 1 week. Now he himself has created this artificial workload for himself, right? So we can discuss some in some other episode that how can we avoid procrastination. But for now, in one word, we can say that do not procrastinate your task. That can that will lead to this problem of excessive workload at the end. Then when there is so little time left and so much to finish, right? All right. So this was the part one. Part two of the problem is actually real. So many times, what happens that because of the business need, or maybe okay, because various reasons, uh, we get so much of the task, so much of workload in to finish in such a short span of time. Now, so this problem has been thought out in various times, and so many people have tried to bring in different model and different work culture so that the workload on the employees can be reduced, and they should not feel burnout. Means, I mean, the employee should not feel burnt out because of the workload. So it has been tried by many people, but the problem doesn't seem to go away. So by the time employers are figuring something out, what employees need to do, what we need to do is we have to prepare ourselves in such a way that this excessive workload does not affect us. Or I should say that we should manage this workload in such a way that we do not get stressed out, right? All right, so how can we prepare ourselves for that? How can we prepare our inner environment in such a way that even when there is workload, we do not get stressed out? So the point number one here is that, see, when even if you feel that, okay, there is so much to work and there's so much to accomplish and there's so much to finish, there's so little time, all that, when you are thinking and when you are overwhelmed, all this is creating stress. So just take a pause, take a breather. I remember watching an interview of Jeff Bezos. He was asked that how do you manage the stress, because you must be having a lot of things to do. He replied very beautifully that he said that a lot of stress comes when you think about the task, that okay, this is a massive task and I'm not doing anything about it. A very small thing which you can do to accomplish that task, such as sending an email to someone, such as asking someone's help to help you finish that task, that can greatly reduce the level of stress. And this is true. What happens that when we get so much of the workload, we get overwhelmed that, oh my God, this is such a huge task and I have to finish it in such a short span of time. We keep thinking and thinking and thinking that how are we going to achieve this? And when we do not take action, it compounds the stress. So the point number one is just take a breather, arrange your priorities. Okay, think like this, that okay, I have so much to achieve, but what is the number one priority? What can I achieve first? And as soon as possible, take some action to finish that priority number one task. As soon as you are taking the action, you will feel that your stress level, the overwhelmingness which you are feeling inside, the humongousness of the task, that will reduce in size. And when that reduces, it reduces the stress which you are feeling. Point number two is that, so point number one, we discussed that do something, prioritize, pause, take a breath, prioritize your task, and then do something about it. Point number two is break it into small chunks. So when we see the size of the task, we sometimes get overwhelmed, as we discussed just now. So what we need to do is we need to break it into achievable tasks. So when we are seeing at one part of the task, we will say, okay, this is achievable. We can do this, right? So it's a mental game that we are playing with the task, with the workload. Uh, so when workload came, it is saying that, okay, I'm so huge that you will not be able to accomplish. Now, what we are doing, we are breaking it down, and one uh, we are looking one piece at a time in such a way that, okay, you are very small, I'm going to finish you. We are not looking at the whole task. We are looking at the chunk of the whole task, one chunk at a time, and we are trying to finish that. And as soon as that one chunk gets finished, we will realize that we are getting closer to our goal, and at the same time, we are not getting overwhelmed and we are not getting stressed out. Point number three here is never hesitate to ask for help. I have seen this so many times that, especially in IT industry, we try to figure everything out by ourselves. We uh, when if you ask something to someone, maybe your 2 hour effort, maybe it will reduce to 2 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, or maybe even if 1 hour, 1 hour and 1.5 hours, still you are saving half an hour, right? So never hesitate to ask for help. There are people who are more knowledgeable than you, and even if they are not more knowledgeable, still when you are presenting the problem to them, they will give you a fresh perspective, and maybe somebody else is more experienced on one particular problem, right? So when you, it depends, depends in the about the in the nature of the problem. So when you get the problem, you assess that, and then you can think of who can assist you in this particular problem. If that is a repetitive task, it's a small ask that you can delegate to someone. Ask someone that if they can help you in taking some load from you. If it is a big ask, and if there is some senior around, ask them if they can assist you in managing this task. Maybe they can suggest some different strategy to finish their task. Maybe they can suggest some different solution which you are thinking. Maybe they can come with a fresh approach to solve that problem which you may not be able to think of, because once we start thinking in one direction to solve that problem, our mind gets trapped in that particular one direction. So when you ask someone else, they might bring a fresh perspective to that. All right. So this was the first problem. Problem number two is pressure to perform. See, excessive workload is different problem, and pressure to perform is different problem. How? So pressure to perform is the problem when an employee thinks all the time that he has to exceed, because our grading system, our promotion system, everything is designed in such a way that you have to be on top. If you are not on top, maybe you will lose the promotion. So all these things, all this design, all this system, it brings in, adds some amount of stress that you have to perform better than the others, right? All the time. Because if you are not performing better than the other all the time, maybe you will lose the game. That's how the mentality is, right? So how can we overcome that? How can we solve this problem in such a way that we have to perform better, but at the same time we are not stressed out? And believe it or not, we have all been there. The problem is that we create our own image of perfection, that okay, we are achieving, we are solving this problem in this way, or we are achieving this much, then it is perfect. And let me tell you, there is no such thing as perfection. Not all days are equal. Few days will be your days, and it is a reality that few days will not be yours. So just accept it, that on the days when you are not able to perform at your optimal level, it's okay. We are human at the end. We are uh, performing at best whatever we can do at that particular day. And all days are not comparable. There will be few days where you are getting some source of energy from your personal life, from some other event. So that energy, when you channelize into your uh, work routine, you may be able to perform a lot better. And then some days will be there when you have to invest your energy somewhere else other than the work. That's life. It's not that work only is life, right? Work is part of our life. It's not, there's no such thing that work life and the personal life. I don't segregate that. Work is our part of life. So as our personal life, so as our relationship, so as our family life, so as our personal growth, so as our spiritual growth, so as our uh, financial planning, wealth management, and all these are part of our life. Recreation, everything is part of our life. So when sometimes other parts of our life demands so much from us that we are not able to give too much, or we are not able to perform 100% at a particular day in our office, in our work routine. And it's okay. It happens with everyone. Not everybody performs 100% of the time. So many of the great people, if you listen to them, so many of great entrepreneurs, VCs, CEOs, they all have bad days. It's not like that they are performing 100% of the time, every day, each and every hour, each and every second. It's not like that. At the end, we all are human. So do not uh, chase perfection. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that if you are not able to achieve what you have said, it's okay. Just debrief that one. Just introspect. What has gone wrong? What could have been better? And improve it on the next time. There is always a possibility to improve. It does not mean that you have not done good. You have done enough. Next time, make it better. That's it. So when you have that mindset, the pressure to perform all the time, that reduces to a level where it can be managed and where you are not stressed out, right? All right. So let's now come back to problem number three, which is lack of control. Um, this in itself is a very huge and vast topic. I can go on and on this one. So what this problem is actually? Let's understand the problem first. The problem is that when we are working in a corporate setup environment, a lot of our decisions are taken by our superiors. So maybe architecture is designed by someone else, or the solution is designed by someone else, and we have to follow that. When we propose our one of any of our design to solve one particular problem, it may be not accepted because of various reasons. Maybe because of politics, as we all think, but there are other things as well, that maybe we do not have the grand vision of the problem or the business requirement which other people have, so their solution is well accepted than ours. Anyway, so there can be various reasons that whatever we are going to do or whatever we are doing, that is decided by someone else. So we feel that we do not have control of what we are doing in the corporate setup or the environment, right? So this feeling of lack of control can lead to stress, that can lead to uh, lead us in a mindset that we are not enough. We are not able to control the environment in which we are, right? So how can we overcome this problem? Because most of the times our decisions are going to be in someone else's hand. We can propose that this needs to be done in this way, that needs to be done in that way. But whether it will be accepted or not accepted, most of the time it is up to the superior or a collective group. Maybe it will be accepted sometimes, maybe it will not be. So what we need to do is that we need to understand that we are not in control anyways, whether it is accepted or whether it is not accepted. Even if it is accepted, someone else is accepting it, right? Even if it is not accepted, whatever we are going to propose, if it is not accepted, it's okay. What we need to focus on that what we can control, what is in our control. And what we can control is that when a task is given to us and a path is defined, within that boundary we can perform it in the best way possible. That we can control. What we can control is that when the task is given and we are not very happy with the solution, we can propose an alternate. Whether it will be accepted or not accepted, that is not up to us. That is up to someone else. We can argue, we can put our point across that this is the best solution which I can think of, but whether it will be accepted or not accepted, that's not up to us, right? So focus on what you can control, what is controllable in that environment, and let go of what is not controllable. The problem arises when we try to control things which are not controllable by us, which are beyond our control. We try to grab control, we try to grab a hold on those things which are beyond our control. So just focus on those things which are in our control, which are in your control, and try to do the best in those things. And that is it. That's all you can do, isn't it? So that was problem problem number 3 and its solution. All right, so we have taken a look on the 3 problems and their solution, and now it's time that we talk about the 5 tips which we talked in the beginning. Those 5 tips that you can immediately apply in your day-to-day work routine and reduce your level of stress. So here comes the tip number 1. It's mindfulness. Yeah, I know that you must have heard this term a lot of time, and you might be thinking it's something that can be done at your home, and something that is related to religion or meditation or anything that you have some need to have some special setting for that. But let me tell you that mindfulness is not all that. And how do you practice mindfulness? I'm talking specific in the terms of workplace. How do you practice mindfulness in the workplace? So before we get into that, how do you use mindfulness in your workplace? We need to understand what mindfulness really is, right? So in the previous episode, when we were discussing the 5 fundamental causes of stress, we discussed 2 things. Number 1, constantly thinking about future. Number 2, constantly thinking about past. So when you are thinking of future or when you are thinking about past, meaning when you are not in the present moment, you are more likely to be stressed, right? So what mindfulness does is it brings you back to the current moment. It it does not allow you to go to future, it does not allow you to go to past. So when you are in the present moment, there is very less chances that you will be stressed, right? So how do you incorporate this technique in your work routine? So what you need to do is, instead of thinking of the outcome, that after 3 days there is this deadline, or last week I was scolded by the boss, or I did not do good, or maybe next week I have to present this demo and this nothing is ready as of now. Instead of thinking of all that, I want you to think about what you can do currently in this moment, what you can achieve maybe in next 5 minutes. That's it. And forget about 5 minutes or 1 hour also. Just think of that in this present moment, what you are supposed to do, not what you're supposed to achieve, but what you're supposed to do. And put your entire focus on only on that one thing which you are supposed to do in this present moment. So if you have a presentation next week, if you have to have a demo next week, you need to be preparing either some presentation, some video, or maybe some speech. So for that, you need to write a script maybe. So currently at this point in time, you can do research about that. You can write the script. So just do that. Don't think about how will I present, how will it go, how people will react. Don't think about all that. Just think of this moment. This moment is all you have. And in this moment, what is your priority? Just do that one thing. That's mindfulness at work for you. So that was the tip number one. All right, let's move to the next one. Next one is let go. It might be looking a little related with mindfulness. Yes, it is. But these two are slightly different. So, what let go says to you is you focus on the thing which you are doing. That's fine. But do not expect the result, right? A lot of stress comes from expecting the result, right? And when we do not get that result, we are tend to stress. So let go says it's the Eastern philosophy, Indian philosophy of karma. Uh, uh, Lord Sri Krishna talks about this so many times that you do your job, do not expect the fruit. Now there can be a number of reasons why you should not expect the fruit, but one of them I understand is that you are not the only doer, right? There are so many things which comes together to produce one result. If you are working on a project, so many people come together, so many thought processes come together, so many other resources, physical, non-physical, that comes together to produce one result. So you are not the only doer. So you do your job, do what you are supposed to do in this moment, and just leave it at that. Do not think that I'm doing this so I will get this result. No. Result is the combination of multiple factors, and there are so many things which are out of your control. Just focus on what is in your control. In your control is to do something at this particular point in time. So just do that. Don't think of the fruit. That can save you a great deal of stress. That is a little hard to master, but when you start thinking from this perspective, it starts coming naturally also. Yes, we get bewildered sometime that when we are doing this, it should be the result should be that we get attached to the expectations, we get attached to the fruits, but it's okay. It's okay. We all are human. We all do that. But as soon as you get this awareness that you are attached to the result, come back to the present moment. Come back on what you can do at this particular moment right now and let go of the result. All right. So this was tip number two. Tip number three is digital detox. Now think of this. When we are working, we are always surrounded by technology, right? And even if we are not working in the working hours, when we are not working, we are at break. 90% of the time we are with our mobiles, thinking, checking our notification, who has sent what, who has liked, who's taken or whatnot. So all this we might be thinking that it's a relaxation, but it is not. It might be entertainment, but entertainment is not equals to relaxation. For relaxation, you have to withdraw your senses. So what digital detox, what you need to do in digital detox, you just need to find out 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can find out. You need to switch off the technology, at least switch off the internet for your in your phone, turn off the screen, and just 5 minutes maybe be with yourself. Maybe take a walk in nature. maybe take a hot cup of coffee or tea, or maybe something cold if that's what weather asking you to. So do something of this sort, but do not get attached to the technology, because when we are constantly surrounded by technology, when we are constantly responding to the notifications, when we are constantly doing something with all those distractions which we are surrounded with, we are draining our energy. So unplug from all those things, give yourself 5 minutes, be with yourself, take a walk in the nature, take a cup of tea. You don't have to do all of them, but do whatever makes you comfortable. And when you unplug, you start recharging. Do it for 5 minutes just for once and notice the difference. And I have noticed the difference for myself. I have noticed the difference for so many of my clients, so many of my colleagues, when I told them that you can just take 5 minutes of break like that, and don't use your mobile and all. They feel immense difference in their energy, their mood, right? Because these things drains you out. And when you save that energy, it gives you extra push. So that was tip number 3, digital detox. Tip number 4 is workplace well-being. So by well-being, I mean engaging in some activity which is nourishing to your body, your mind, your soul. It's rejuvenating your energy levels. What can be that? So it can be as simple as having food, having lunch. We all have lunch, right? And if you ask 90% of the people in the evening, what did you have in the lunch and how was it? Most of them will not be able to answer that how was it, because mentally they were absent when they were having lunch. They did not feel it. They did not taste it. They just ate it. That's it. Think of that food that is going inside your body, that is nourishing each and every cell of your body, that is giving you energy, that is giving you uh, the source to perform, and you are not able to give 10 minutes to that. So instead of picking any other activity for your well-being, so I can add in this list, like you can play a game for 10 minutes, maybe for very small game, not on your mobile, any other physical game. You can go out in the walk, in the nature for a walk. You can have a light conversation with your colleagues about some light-hearted things, right? All these things can be in your workplace well-being, but something as simple as food, which we all eat every day, just dedicate your 10 minutes. Thank that food, that it is available to you, that it is giving you energy, and engage your senses with that food. That's it. Don't use your mobile. Don't have heavy and negative talks when you are eating food. That's it. The simple thing of having food with focused mind can give you a lot of energy, positive positive vibes, that can push you through the rest of the day. Sorry. Yeah. So that was tip number 4. Now let's come back to tip number 5, which is workplace workouts. Now you might be thinking, you need to go to gym in the workplace. No, I'm not asking that. I'm just asking you to find small opportunity to move. Like, let's say that you are going to cafeteria, or if the cafeteria is on the first floor, second floor, just take the stairs. Just go out when you are taking a break. Instead of asking someone to bring a coffee or going to the nearest coffee vending machine, just go a little far, just move a little. So you see how it works is that when you're constantly thinking about a problem, your cortisol levels are up, right? Cortisol cortisol is the hormone which rises when you are stressed. But it's not a stress hormone, actually it's an energy hormone. When you are stressed, you need more energy. That's why cortisol rises. So when you take a walk, when you move, what happens that cortisol gets used in those movement, and that's how the cortisol level goes down. Your blood pressure level goes down, and then that's how your stress level also goes down. And when you walk, the body releases endorphins. Endorphins is the hormone which makes us feel good about ourselves. So it works in two ways, right? It lowers your cortisol levels. Also, it increases it releases endorphins, which makes you feel good about yourself. So this was tip number 5. Let me know which one you like the most, which one you want to apply, and when you apply any one of them, please share the result in the comment box. All right, with that we have covered the 3 problems which we needed to discuss and their solution, and then we have also discussed 5 tips that you can apply in your day-to-day work routine and reduce the level of your stress. Right. So after that, I have an announcement to make that I have written an ebook on the same topic. The title is Definitive Guide to Go from Stressful to Stress-Free at Workplace. This ebook currently it is available for free at my website, so you can go to my website and download it from there. Also, I will leave the direct link for the ebook in the description box. Also, if you want to connect with me on Instagram, where I'm most active, so my Instagram handle is Happiness Architect. You can connect with me there. And if you want to connect with me through the website, my website is akshatiwari.in, and I recommend and I invite you all to be the part of my VIP Facebook group, and which is with the same name, Holistic Happiness Club. The link for the group you will get in the description box. Also, you will get in the website. Also, you will get direct invite inside the ebook. All right. So with that, we have reached till the end of the video. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until the time we are seeing each other, take very good care of yourself, take care of your family members, take care of the people around you. Stay happy, stay joyful. Peace.